right, team, we need new ideas for a new beer. Something fresh, something marketable, something delicious.
Okay, no bad ideas. Let's hear them.
It should be smooth, but still have a decent ABV.
With a little bit of kick to it, maybe.
It should have a tubular attitude.
Yeah, and 2 different gain modes.
Okay, these are some good ideas, guys, but
Maybe a couple more? What else do you guys have?
Maybe just a touch of sweetness to brighten it up.
Yeah, and it should be super refreshing.
So you could drink it all day without feeling malty and bloated.
Active 3-band EQ control.
What?
We said no bad ideas, but let's keep it to beer.
A hint of lime for a bit of acidity?
Yeah, and effervescent, like it's dancing on your tongue.
1980s Australian surfing.
I'm sorry, what?
1980s Australian surfing. It should look like it came from a 1980s Australian surfing.
What does that even mean?
No, wait, I think he's onto something. Maybe like bright, neon, colorful.
Yeah, like a hot oceanside day at the beach, packed with excitement.
Refreshing and zippy.
Like a wave of ginger deliciousness with a zesty bite that keeps you coming back for more.
Okay, team, notwithstanding, I think we got some great ideas. Great job.
Yeah, let's take most of these ideas and get brewing this beer immediately.
Okay, team, great job over the last few months. The beer is finally ready. Let's meet the newest member of the Blood Brothers team, the Cutback Aussie-style ginger beer.
Great job, everyone. Very good job.
What was that?
Nothing.
Pick it up now. Let's see it.
I didn't know we were supposed to be making a beer.
Are you serious? We're a beer company, dude.
I didn't know that, Alex.
Who is this guy anyway?
He doesn't even go here.
You shut your friggin' mouth hole, Darren. He's right, though. I don't work here.
All right, I've had enough of this.
Just show us what you have and we can put an end to this.
Call security.
Hello there! I'm Jamie from Supercool Pedals, and it's my finest pleasure to introduce you to the 11th pedal in the Supercool lineup in partnership with our friends at Blood Brothers Brewing, the Cutback. The Cutback is a super versatile preamp, overdrive, and distortion circuit that's based off the legendary DoD 250 and MXR Distortion Plus circuit. And if you know Supercool Pedals lore, then you know that the 800 was my very first pedal design and take on the DoD 250. So the Cutback is very much the evolved and more deluxe version of our fan favorite 800 that I've been wanting to make for years. It brings all the awesome tone, natural breakup, carefully crafted distortion, and saturation even further by improving the signal path clarity and adding a carefully tuned EQ stack that makes this pedal even more versatile and sweet sounding. You can use it as a classic preamp for warm amp-like breakup, an always-on tone sweetener, a subtle but calculated clean boost, a fully saturated and shaped distortion, and so much more. Now before I get to the full demo and breakdown of the Cutback, I want to talk about the inspiration behind this pedal and the collaboration with Blood Brothers Brewing. If you want to skip it and get right to the sounds, future me has timestamped this video for you so you can just navigate right to the good stuff. So like all Supercool pedals, the inspiration for the Cutback is a really personal one, and it's kinda oddly specific too. Australian 80s surfing, something I know very little about. So I've got some family in Brisbane, and the last time I was visiting them, I fell in love with the history of Australian surf clubs and culture. I won't go into it all here, but if you're interested, you should definitely look it up, it's pretty cool. Along the way, I also discovered Australian ginger beer, which is nothing like what we have here in North America. So years later, when I was approached by Alex, the rep from Blood Brothers Brewing, who asked if I wanted to do a collaboration, my gears kind of started turning. I've been brewing my own ginger beer since I got back from that Australian trip, since I couldn't find it here, and we thought that would make an excellent starting point for a collaboration. Alex was also already a fan of Supercool and had the 800 in his rig, which coincidentally I'd been exploring with some mods and improvements, and well, the rest just sort of fell together. Over the next few months, I worked closely with Dylan, the head designer and artist for Blood Brothers, to come up with the art on the cutback, and even consulted my Australian brother-in-law, who was, in fact, an Australian surf kid in the 80s, to get some inspiration and make sure we really nailed the visual tone. I also got to work with the Blood Brothers themselves, Dustin and Braden, to learn about how we're gonna concoct and replicate this drink. And after nearly a year of intensive taste testing, circuit modifications, design rabbit holes, and prototypes, we ended up with the Cutback pedal and the Cutback Aussie style ginger beer. Let's take a look at the controls on the Cutback and get into some of the slick sounds and use cases it can deliver. The drive knob is the amount of overall pre-gain or distortion that's applied to the effect. At minimum, it's almost fully clean. As you turn up the drive knob, you'll increase the level of gain, ranging from light breakup, overdrive, and all the way to full-on distortion. For this example, I'm going to use the 0.01% gain mode that I'll fully explain in the next section. The clipping mode switch lets you choose between two different settings, expressed as the strength of alcohol, a nod to both the 800 and the Cutback ginger beer. The 0.01% setting is a lower gain mode that uses a pair of LED clipping diodes and is great for achieving a high output signal for boosts and overdrives. It can give a great open and natural sounding distortion too, which is really amp-like and responsive to dynamics too. Notice how it gets less or more distorted depending on how hard I'm actually playing, instead of just being fully saturated all the time. Now the 8% mode is a higher gain, lower output mode that uses silicon diodes to clip the signal and deliver a full-on saturated distortion sound that squashes dynamics and can even get close to fuzz territory if you really drive it nice and hard and play it right. Level knob controls the overall output of the circuit, but it's hiding a bit of a secret. It's got a super high output depending on your gain and EQ settings, meaning you can use it as an awesome boost if you want. Now let's turn the drive all the way down on the low gain mode and pop our EQ knobs just up a little bit to help overdrive our amp for a natural breakup sound. The EQ section turns the Cutback into a tone-shaping machine. It's an active 3-band EQ that's a combination of a Baxandall and parametric EQ in response, and it's not just a cut-and-paste EQ from another circuit, like from our Barstow bat. It's been specifically designed to complement this unique and dynamic drive circuit to maximize clarity, depth, and harmonic richness, and to help give you maximum tone shaping, power, and versatility. At noon, the controls are flat and not affecting the tone. Counterclockwise cuts frequencies, and clockwise adds them. Let's hear the full range of the low control, which is a shelf EQ that can be used to cut bass frequencies for a calculated, clean sound, or add them for a room-shaking bass sound. Mid knob controls a medium cued parametric frequency, focusing around that magical 800 Hertz mark, and it can drastically alter your color and tone. It's great to scoop out those mids for a background rhythm sound or a classic metal tone, or you can boost it to get that warm, in-your-face, mid-driven sound. For this demonstration, I'm going to crank the drive on the high gain mode, and I'll slightly adjust the level as I go too, since scooping or adding mids has a pretty drastic overall effect on the overall volume. The high knob controls a shelf EQ close to the end of the audible spectrum, and it's really kind of unique and not quite what you would expect from a regular treble control, because it essentially cuts or adds some near supersonic harmonic content. One thing that I loved about the 800 was the secret dip switch option to remove the harmonic filter cap, which led to more pronounced and glassy treble. So I made sure that this knob goes a bit further than that. It can really help add some rich harmonic brightness to your signal. Dialed back, you have a tamer and controlled, but still not dead or too dark of a sound. And dialed up, you're adding all sorts of harmonic goodness and overtones. In this example, we'll use it for some rich, bluesy, treble boosted goodness with some light overdrive on the low gain mode. Now, by combining all the controls and settings of the Cutback, you have a wildly diverse drive pedal with infinite combinations, with really simple and intuitive controls that make it super easy to recall your favorite sounds and settings. Let's take a look at a couple of cool presets and sounds that I like.
Baby, 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 oh, baby, baby, baby.
Do you like that scooped chainsaw black metal thing? Well, max out the high gain mode, scoop out those colorful mids all the way to blackness, and crank the treble for overwhelming white noise harmonics. And the only things left to do are to get out that white and black face paint and decide on an unreadable band logo. One of my favorite sounds of the Cutback is almost counterintuitive, but it gets that sought-after secret sauce of the Queens of the Stone Age desert rock sound, without having to blast one of those rare and coveted PB Decade amps. On low gain, yeah that's right, low gain mode, keep the drive at noon, cut your lows and tame those high harmonics, and just blast that mid-range for a deceivingly low gain, unforgiving bite that sounds so much more aggressive than it actually is. But does it sound good on bass? Yup, because the natural breakup, saturation, and EQ controls play very nicely with those low-end frequencies and allow for a fuck ton of bass tone with great amp-like grit and character. These are just a few of the awesome sounds that you can get from the Cutback and some of my personal favorites, but there's a whole world of use cases and sounds to explore, making the Cutback a great pedal for any kind of guitarist. I mean, as a preamp, it honestly sounds awesome with just about any instrument running through it too, like keyboards, synthesizers, drum machines, and even live drums. The Cutback is now available for purchase, either at supercoolpedals.com or at your friendly neighborhood Supercool dealer. Of course, the perfect companion to a new pedal is a nice new beer. So the Cutback Aussie Style Ginger Beer by Blood Brothers Brewing is available in a limited batch. So if you're in Canada, you can order it online from bloodbrothersbrewing.com, or you might be able to grab a can at your local Blood Brothers friendly watering hole too. Thanks so much for watching and being part of this really exciting release. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all the socials and all that nonsense. Check out supercoolpedals.com for other awesome pedals as well. And until next time, surf's up, dude.